Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And today I'm asking a question that maybe you've asked or wondered. Is it xenophobic for Black Americans to want to star in our own story? And it might come off as sounding a little bit on the petty side, but I'm going to go through it because Black Americans are having something to say about Nigerians showing up at the Oscars with the Sinners cast. I know there was a Nigerian woman playing in the movie for whatever reason, but let's just talk about it. There is conversation happening online about Shabuzzi, who is a Nigerian performer performing on the center stage. Now, I don't want to drag him, and I'm not here to pit Black Americans against anybody else. What I am here to do is explain why some Black Americans felt a way about this moment, because the reaction didn't come out of nowhere. It came from history, from experience, and from a very emotional place. So here's what happened. Shabuzzi, who is a Nigerian American, performed on a stage that many people see as a celebration of a very specific Black American musical lineage. And when that happened, some folks online said, hold on, why is someone who isn't Black American being centered on the stage that's supposed to highlight our story? Now, some people might think that's petty. You're just being petty. But for some people, it's not being petty, because he insulted many Black Americans a few weeks ago at the Grammys when he said that immigrants built America. I don't believe he meant any harm by that. I think he was including himself in the Black American ancestors who built this country, but many Black Americans took issue with that. And to be fair, he wasn't centered on the center stage in that song, I Lied. But he just had one line, I think, but some people thought even that was too much. For a lot of Black Americans, cultural spaces like this feel rare. They feel fragile. They feel like something that finally belongs to us in a world where so much of what we have created gets taken, globalized, and repackaged without our input. So Black Americans have watched our music, our slang, our fashion, our dances, our entire cultural identity get borrowed, copied, and commercialized, often with little credit and even less respect. So when a space pops up that feels like this is ours, this is about our lineage, our struggle, our creativity, we get protective. And that protectiveness isn't xenophobia. It's trauma, it's history, it's the result of generations of erasure. And when we become protective of our culture, people say we're hating on other people. But it's not about hating anybody. It's about wanting to be centered in a story that was built from pain, from joy, from survival, and from innovation. There's a difference between saying we don't want anyone else here and saying we want to be centered in our own cultural spaces. Those are not the same thing. Every community on earth has the right to define its own cultural boundaries. Every community has the right to say this is our story and we want to tell it ourselves. And we, Black Americans, are no different. But because Black American culture is so widely consumed, people sometimes forget that it's not a free-for-all. It has roots. It has lineage. It has a specific history tied to a specific people. This isn't the first time this conversation has happened, and it won't be the last. It comes up in music, in film, in fashion, in activism. Anywhere Black American culture intersects with the broader African diaspora or the global Black community, and the tension usually comes from the same place. Black Americans want to protect the specificity of our identity. Others want to participate in the culture they love. And somewhere in the middle, feelings get hurt and intentions get misunderstood. But the core of it is simple. Black Americans want to be seen. We want to be credited. We want to be centered in the things that we created, and that is not wrong. So when people reacted to Shabuzzi being on that stage, it wasn't about him personally. It wasn't about his talent or his identity. It was about what the stage symbolized. It was about the fear that even in a space meant to honor Black American culture, Black Americans might once again get pushed to the side. You don't have to agree with the reaction, but you should understand where it comes from. At the end of the day, this conversation is not about division. It's about clarity. That's what we keep saying. This is all about clarity. It's not about hating anybody. It's not about resenting anybody's talent or trying to rob anybody of their gift or being jealous of anybody. It's about clarity. It's about acknowledging that Black Americans, we have a unique cultural story, and we deserve the space to tell it without feeling overshadowed or replaced. Instead of dismissing our feelings as xenophobic or divisive, we should be asking, why do they feel this way? What history shaped this reaction? And how can we honor their story while still building bridges across the diaspora? Yeah, the question really is, why do you feel like we're being xenophobic because we want to be a star in our own show? They will say what Black Americans have main character syndrome. Yes, Black Americans have main character syndrome in Black Americans' culture. We don't have main character syndrome in somebody else's culture. And this is where the level of understanding needs to begin. People need to begin to understand. Just because we have a culture that everybody thinks they're supposed to participate in, it is a culture that belongs to a specific group of people. And it is not xenophobic to say, yes, we want to star in our own show. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about this video. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up, keep warm out there, and have a good evening.